Right, thanks very much for your time today.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. You're very openly critical of the music industry.
Oh, I wouldn't say that we're openly, well, we are a little openly critical of it. But we're also very proud to be a part of it. And it just different times have changed since we were kids, you know. You don't make money like you used to in music. And I don't think that we're necessarily critical of it. We just tell how it is. It's a fact that musicians don't make money like they used to. And the way they manufacture bands nowadays to not have longevity and be kind of like one-hit wonders, and they're doing the best they can to make money off of bands as well. I get where they're coming from. So bands have to be very self-sufficient these days and really build their own careers and really work their asses off, which is never a bad thing. It's always good to be, you know, invested in your own project and have your heart and soul in it.
Yeah,
I mean, for us, I think the criticism at first fell into when we first started. People were like, "No, you don't look like you're a metal chick, so you can't like metal." Yeah. We were constantly forced into having to try and do pop or try and do these other things, and I was approached to do country, and they're like, "Well, you're going to cut your hair, we're going to tell everyone you're 19 years old and you're going to be a country star." And I was like, absolutely not. And that's the thing, is it was more so, you know, pigeonholed into one tiny space instead of allowed to really express yourself because of the way you look. And that's what I think most of the criticism came from at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly where you're coming from, because I deal with lots of local bands and younger bands, and they all go through exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, do you honestly see the industry changing towards the younger bands, and think it's just everybody's just going to have to adapt and something will happen?
I think that bands have to adapt. There are ways to make money. It's just different, you know, like everything else. You know, things evolve and adapt. The industry changes, and you find your place in it. And that's what we're doing. And we've been, you know, we finance everything that we do on our own. We've taken this band from nothing to, we've got a great team behind us, but we're very persistent people, and that's how bands have to be nowadays. They have to be very hands-on.
Just sacrifice everything.
Yeah.
And I think
that's where your pure shit comes from, isn't it?
I think, though, that, you know, the industry, in the sense of, you know, the money side of it, that's not ever gonna really come back. So you do have to evolve and adapt, but I do see a shift in where it is like more normal to have females in metal, you know, and it doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter where you came from, and I'm seeing that more and more, which is really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, for me it's good, because if you look at it, and you look at the way that it is now, you get synth metal. Oh, it's a female. There's a female. There's no question about it. There's a female singer there. You know, when you see what you used to, you're like, oh, wow, it's just totally different. It's not what you expect. I mean, I've never heard any woman scream the way you use, well, except for my ex, but you know, it's incredible, you know. So it's good, yeah. And I think you're charging a path towards, you know, other people and other women coming out and doing that. So that's brilliant.
Thank you.
Following on from that, you see, you're just talking about, you adapt and you move forward without it letting it bother you. Now, one thing I thought was quite good is you done a pre-tour party, a bus party, you do after gig parties.
Yeah.
Lots of parties. Is that part of your way of just getting over and saying, sod you, we're just going to have a good time?
Well, I think the way that we are as people and as a band, the way that we see it is they're not coming to go to a concert and stand around. They're coming and they're invited to our party, because every show is just a big party, and we're very adamant about that. It is a party, and we're up there, we're having a blast, the crowd is having a blast. You know, we walk away and some nights we're like, man, that was the best night of my life, and then tomorrow, man, that was the best night of my life. You know, it is a party, and as long as you keep that attitude, it keeps it fresh. And you know, we do after parties where people can come in and, you know, they get a party animal t-shirt, and we hang out. I mean, my birthday was a couple nights ago, and we had birthday cake with our after party, you know, party animals, and it's fun, and to us it's a really great way to spend better one-on-one time with our fan base, rather than just to shake a hand and go by the line. We get to actually meet and chat and you know, cheers. So it's for us it is a lot of fun, and like I said, it keeps it fresh.
Yeah. I mean, talking about the after gig parties, this got me. I've got absolutely no idea where you get your energy from. I mean, I caught you live last year, first time at Hellfest, and it just blew me away. Honestly, I come away from that weekend and you were the band that stuck in my mind. All of those bands,
cool,
just absolutely gobsmacked me. And then I'm thinking, how do you finish the set you do, and then get yourself back up for the party? Or is it just still a continuation of adrenaline?
We just love what we do, and I think when you have a love for what you do, it comes easy. There are days when before we go on stage, we kind of, you know, need to pump each other up.
We listen to music. We'll like listen to music and jump around. Be like, okay, we have this song from Attila that we listen to. It's "Party with the Devil," and you know, it's for us. It's like we get into that mode, and the second we step on stage,
everything changes. You're full of energy as soon as you get on stage.
It's the weirdest thing, and I have no idea where it comes from. But I'm glad that we share that. Yeah. The whole band does, you know. It's like the second we step on stage, it's just a whole other side of you comes out. And I think that, like you said, the adrenaline just kind of lasts through the whole night. And for us, it is exciting for us to meet our fan base that allows us to do this, you know, and pays to come see us and buys T-shirts and to us, like, we want to meet these people. We want to go out. We want to meet them and shake their hands and get to know them. And to us, like, that's a really important thing. So we're never really like tired for the after parties, but we're kind of excited for it.
Talking obviously the gigs now, this is probably your biggest UK tour you've done, really?
Yeah, it's definitely the biggest UK tour.
I mean, how's it going? On a personal note, I heard you say earlier that you've had a bit of time to spend, so have you managed to see some of the UK
stuff? You know, one thing that is hugely important to me personally, and to Heidi as well, is to get off the bus and see the world. Because, you know, you're not making $1 million, you're out here, you know, you leave everything else behind, your family, your pets, everything that you love. So you're out here, you know, just doing what you love and seeing the world. So take advantage of it. I can't stand when people sit on the bus all day or sleep all day. You know, yesterday we spent the whole day exploring Glasgow and the museums and the necropolis, which I heard about the first time in mortuary school. So I was thrilled to see it in person. And we were at, you know, the Newcastle Castle the day before. And there's just so much to see in the world. Even if you just go on a walk to a coffee shop and sit there and, you know, people watch for a while. You know, it's just, it's great to get out and do that.
Yeah, perfect. Now I'd like to just touch on the songs now. In your songwriting process, on a track like "Take It Like a Man," obviously you're both involved in that. You both come from completely different backgrounds. So how do you go about melding the two of your backgrounds into the one song?
Well, it's so interesting because like we grew up completely different, so radically different. However, it seems like we had a lot of the same emotions, different experiences, but those experiences kind of evoke the same emotions. And whenever we write separately and we come and we sit together and show our work, it's always the exact same thing. It's so crazy. We you know, our emotions and the way that we write together is so synced up. When we were working together for almost a decade, so everything is just so synced up and it's so easy. The writing process between the two of us is seamless. She always says, you know, I'll be stumped and she can finish my sentence another way around, and the other way around too. And then the boys also have a say in, you know, lyrical content as well. It's a team effort. That's for sure.
Excellent. I have to say, I love the Monday motivation piece you do. That you see on it. The messages are quite clear, and I think that like some metal fans will get where you're coming from that. Because across the spectrum, if you really look at us as, I suppose, as one big genre, it's all misfits, dropouts, you know, it seems to collect people with that. But someone outside us might be looking at yourselves, and I'm sure you've seen this plenty of times, and say, oh, come on, you've got two pretty girls there, they're going round the world, they've got fans, adulation all over the place. What do they know about, you know, going through this and what tough things to do? I mean, for yourselves, I mean, I realise, I see the background, I know where these are came from, and, you know, some of the stuff you've told us. But I mean, for the likes of those people, how would you turn around to them and say, look, it's not superficial?
It's
because I think that's one of the biggest problems.
You know, the old adage, you don't judge a book by its cover, and you don't do that with anyone. And everyone has their own story, and we definitely grew up not the best backgrounds. I came from a background of abandonment and a lot of loss, and it was a very hard time for me, and all of those things made me the woman that I am today. And if you listen to the lyrics of our songs and read the lyrics, you can see the pain and the hurt and the anger in those lyrics. And like I said, both of us are the women that we are today because of our past and what we've been through. And there's always going to be people that don't believe that you've actually been through these things, and
I don't care.
You don't have to prove it to anyone.
I don't care because our fan base, they can sense the honesty in it, and us as well. Like I would never go out and do something that was fake on my end in the sense of my music. Absolutely not. People have tried to get us to sing different kind of stuff and presented us with songs, about different things, and that we would never sing about, because to us it seems it's a facade and it's fake, and we refuse to do that because we have a platform right now to send a message and a positive message to young kids and adults alike, and boys, girls, different races, stereotypes, doesn't matter. We have this platform, so we have to do it in the most honest, unique way. And I mean, we've opened up about things that we've never wanted to ever talk about again in our lives, and it's not easy. It's definitely not something that was easy for us. It was something that we felt we needed to do, not just for our fan base or for other people, but for ourselves. This is our therapy. There are things that we just swore up and down we would never talk about again in our lives, and then in writing Take It Like a Man, it was so emotional.
The floodgates were open.
Oh, it was like and to us, I mean, I still get chills playing Thrown Away live because it's such an emotional song for us, and it's so real, and these emotions come from such a real place, and I don't feel like I have to prove that to anyone, and if they don't really believe it and they think that it's like all superficial, that's their problem, and I don't care. Like, to me, it means something, and to my fan base, as long as it can touch one person's heart, my job's done. Yeah.
I mean, see, when you're writing, do you find that even if you've decided you're going to go for something that's a touchy subject for yourself, once you start, do you feel that just stuff comes out and you don't even know where it comes from?
For sure. Writing is a very cathartic experience all the time for us, and once you open the door to,
like she said, the floodgates
to certain emotions, and a great thing to do is just to start writing, and whatever comes out, and then amazing things start to come out, because there's a lot of things that we had repressed, like she was saying, and just getting a little bit out and writing about it more and more, and the emotions and the smells and the surroundings. It's just, people have so much good stuff that comes from hurt and pain, and if you let it out in a healthy way,
it's turning that negative into a positive.
Exactly.
And for us, like, that's hugely important. In writing Dead Man Walking, the song off the album, which is kind of the title track, there's a lyric in it that says, "Where were you when I learned to take it like a man? Where were you when I learned to stand?" And to both of us, we had written separately about experiences with our fathers. I went through a lot of child abuse for my whole entire upbringing, and abandonment on her end. And when we came together, it was so emotional for the two of us to sit there and pour out these feelings that we kind of just had suppressed, and it's a really, really great experience, and I feel very lucky that we get to do this together.
As you say, where would you be if you didn't? I mean, I know I've seen the video that was released last night. Obviously, you're talking about the probably still be in the position you were in years ago.
Yeah.
You know, you would be recovered.
I have no idea where it is. My life would be a mess.
Now, one of the things I find is that everything that you do as a band seems to just revolve around the fans. You're super active on social media, and I would say, because of the time difference, it causes some problems. It's woke me up a few times with Twitter beating next to my bed. And I don't even need to know if I see that light. I go, that'll be a So, I mean, I think it's completely genuine. I see where you're coming from. But there's a lot of people who say, well, part of that's the business side of it. You know, you're getting people in, keeping them amused, getting money in. Is it somewhere in the middle, or is it just the fans? You just, you know.
I mean, we love what we do. I don't understand how, like, being active with your fan base is a money grab. You know, our fan base is the reason that we're here. And when we were a band without even an album, without a tour, we interacted with our fans. And
well, another thing too is we grew up as fans.
Yeah.
You know, we went to the shows and we grew up in the pit. You'll still see us get in the pit, and you'll see us crowd surf and all sorts of fun stuff. And we grew up as fans of music, fans of bands, and not in the sense of like groupie style, but in the sense of we wanted to be the band. Carla made a joke a long time ago, like, I didn't want to date the guys in the band, I wanted to be the guys. And that's exactly how it was for me too. And so we know what it's like to be able to like meet or interact with. It's like a dream come true for us to, you know, shake our idols' hands. And like even today, there's a bunch of kids waiting outside the door, and I found it very important to go over there and say thank you for being here early. And to them, I know that something, just a few seconds out of my day or our day is going to make their entire like week, you know. And
so we really see ourselves in their eyes. These little kids that come and they sing every lyric to your song, the front row, and fight to get to the front row.
Like thinking about
you know, that's who we were, and that's who we still are. And so it's definitely.
That's why I think it comes over so genuine. You can see it. I'll just a quick one there. You recently pictured with Kiss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We ever tempted to turn around to Gene Simmons and say, "Rock's not dead. Look at us."
Yeah. Well, I think he's gotten quite a bit of blowback from that. That was in Belgium for Grass Pop last year, and it was so cool. They let us come in for free, and we got to be there for just a couple of seconds. And they said hi, and they were really nice, and that was cool. You know, I went and saw Kiss for the first time with Carla sometime last year. And that was the first time I had seen them, and I was just blown away by it. So you know, it's really neat.
I go back slightly further than that. I've seen them with and without their makeup. Now this next question is probably not one that you would expect, but I kind of put this in, and then I took it out, and I put it back in, and I took it out.
It's okay.
And then I thought,
lay it on us.
No, I'm going to do the Butcher Babies. Fuck it. I'm going to ask you. And it's. Scotland has changed dramatically over the last couple of years, and part of that's to do with the independence referendum that we had, and we've now become very, very political as a nation, and Donald Trump scares the shit out of us. I mean, this man has his could have his fingers on the buttons, and all the nuclear subs are 20 miles away from this place. How do you feel about it?
I think it's very irresponsible of him to even be running for president, to even be taking a vote away from someone who is a good candidate. It's a completely bizarre thing that people even look at him as if he would be a good candidate. He's horrible to women. He says horrible things about everyone. He says horrible things about handicapped people.
I can't even believe it's gotten this far.
It's
honestly disgusting. I remember when he first announced he was going to run for president, I was like, oh, that won't even make it past the first anything. And it's gotten this far, and it's a terrifying thing. You know, all Americans who are against it are like, all right, we're going to Canada. You know, we're out of here. But I see a lot of really, really bad things happening in this world if that happens. And, you know, to us, we take these things very seriously. And I grew up in politics. My mom's a politician, and so for me, you know, kind of seeing it, I look at that party as they would be nominated for an Oscar for Best Comedy or something like that. Like, to me, it's the biggest joke, and I'm not impressed. And I don't think that most people are, but somehow
it bothers me too that you see he really just kind of perpetuates all this hate in people, and to hear the things that people say in support of him, you see how much hate there still is in the world and in the States, and it really bothers me because I like to think of the States as a place that has, you know, so much compassion. I mean, we're a new country. People from all over the world came there for a better life, and all kinds of immigrants came there and built up our country to be what it is today. And this person is just, he's a hate monger, and he is
fueling the fire,
really fueling racism. And like I said, the things that he says about women are just ridiculous.
If he is nominated, I don't see his life lasting very long.
He might be like a plant of some kind to distract from from the real.
There's like a lot of conspiracy
there's a lot of
feelings.
divisive stuff,
Yeah.
you know, and this whatever. Yeah.
Who knows? I'm just hoping, keeping my fingers crossed that he drops out or.
Anyone with any sense is thinking exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll finish off on something just a lighter note. Because we're discussing the music industry, if you were both given one thing that you could change about the music industry and it would stick, what would you pick? What would you try and change?
I would try and change, you know, it is easier for people to get a hold of your music nowadays, but I would change the whole digital world. That whole digital world where everything is now basically free. That's what we would change. And not that we're doing this for money, but I think that there's so many bands right now who are they're not allowed, and it's hard for them to get their art out because of the lack of the money in it. And there's so many great bands that are being pigeonholed to one thing because it seems like, oh, this one particular formula works in this part of radio, so we're gonna make every band sound the exact same, and it's impossible to be 100% creative in that sense. So I think if the digital world didn't exist in that sense, I think it would be a different time.
I mean, I'm sure it's killed many bands.
I mean,
for sure.
The Defiled just broke up.
I think more money to the artists rather than the people that the agents, lawyers, who all do a great job and have their place as well. But you know, a lot of great musicians have to give up their dream because they have a family or they have a wife, they have a child that they have to take care of, and eventually, you know, sometimes it gets too hard to do both, and it's a shame to lose out on, you know, your dream or letting the world in on your great talent because you can't pay a simple bill.
Yeah. Okay, well that's us. Thanks very much for your time once again.
Of course, yeah.
Can't wait to see you in there going
we're so
in such a small
excited.
club. It's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, we are so excited. We heard that this place throws down. So.
Oh yeah.